And we start this Monday afternoon on a weather roller coaster. Joining me, meteorologist Tracy Bean with a breakdown of how the forecast is going to change throughout the week. What do we say this morning, Tracy? It's going to be the opposite of the turkey, right?
That's right.
It's
That's
the
right.
opposite of the turkey.
Yeah, it's a little warmer now, and we need to get colder, and the turkey is cold, and it needs to get warmer. So it's just all the opposites. You can see where that frontal boundary is right there. It is 48 in Fayetteville, 70 in Central Arkansas. So we are going to see those temperatures head our way, but just taking a quick look at the current feels like it is 48 in Fayetteville, but it feels like 43. Lots of wind out there today. And as we're progressing through the rest of the day, right now we've got a southerly flow, so it's a bit warm, but as soon as that frontal boundary gets here, we're going to see those winds switch to the north, and that means it's going to get a little bit colder for us here in Central Arkansas as well. So breezy conditions, looking for gusts anywhere from 20 to 25. Some could see 30 miles per hour, looking for a high today in the low 70s, but tonight things are going to clear out. We're going to see clear skies. That means it's going to get cold, my friends, and tomorrow morning when we wake up, we'll be in the lower 40s, but it's going to feel like it's in the mid to upper 30s, but a mostly sunny sky and 56. And then by Wednesday, we do have some rain pushing into our holiday forecast, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a few minutes.
Developing this afternoon, President-elect Donald Trump is adding the finishing touches to his cabinet. Christian Benavidez reports on how the American people are responding to his latest picks.
A new CBS News poll finds 59% of Americans approve of how President-elect Donald Trump is handling the transition.
We're going to have hearings early so we can get his team in place when he takes the oath of office on January 20th.
Over the weekend, Trump announced a series of administration picks, including hedge fund manager Scott Bessent to be Treasury Secretary and Congresswoman Lori Chavez Duramir as Labor Secretary. The poll shows many of Trump's choices have more support than opposition, including some of his more controversial picks, like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for Health and Human Services, Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence, and Pete Hegseth for Defense. So far, the Trump transition team has not signed an agreement with the FBI to conduct background checks on cabinet nominees, which could impact the vetting process.
If they keep delaying on these background checks, we will have a delay in getting these cabinet officials in.
I don't think the American public cares who does the background checks. What the American public cares about is to see the mandate that they voted in delivered upon.
The Trump transition also hasn't signed an agreement with the White House to get access to office space, help with expenses, or share information. A transition spokesperson tells CBS News they continue to constructively engage with the Biden administration. Christian Benavidez, CBS News, West Palm Beach, Florida.
Happening right now, a ceremony at Two Rivers Bridge in honor of the late former Pulaski County Judge Floyd G. Buddy Valines. The event started about an hour ago in remembrance of Buddy. He previously served as county judge for 24 years, where he took on projects regarding the Big Dam Bridge and the Junction Bridge. Our team is at that ceremony, working to provide you with new details during our evening coverage tonight. Well, if you're in the mood to feed your soul, Hot Springs is the place to be later this afternoon. The city is hosting its 21st annual Tom Daniel Holiday Chili Cook-Off at 4:30. Now, everyone is invited to warm up for the holidays and enjoy the chili. Happening in downtown Hot Springs, and will end with a Christmas lighting. Should be a lot of fun. And happening right now, there is a Thanksgiving food giveaway happening in Little Rock. From now until 2 o'clock, you can pick up poultry, ham, and hot meals. Free haircuts are also being provided to those who need it. The event is happening at Southern Carrier Services at 10310 West Markham. Well, in case you missed it, the Arkansas School for the Blind is hosting their annual Christmas tree sale. The school's alumni are putting on the big event this year, and they are excited about it. We learned that they started with about 300 trees of all different shapes and sizes. They're going quick, but there is still plenty left to be sold. All proceeds earned will be used, of course, for a good cause.
All funds go back to the School for the Blind, for the kids, give them everything they need, scholarships, personal items, uniforms for the wrestling team.
The sale opens daily this week from noon until 7:30. The school hopes to be sold out by the start of December. In northwest Arkansas, leftover debris from previous storms is being turned into a work of art. In an effort to heal their community, 2 men spent the summer transforming destroyed items into what they called a representation of a natural disaster. The project contains all types of materials, and they say it was a calling to get the job done.
The sculpture was driving us. It was no longer when do we want to work on this. It was like this needs to be done, and it was literally on a day-by-day basis of where we discussed what needs to happen tomorrow, and it almost seemed like the sculpture had a soul and was pushing us to get finished.
The creators say their ultimate goal is to help Arkansans through the grieving process. Well, it is the week. Millions are expected to be on the move this Thanksgiving. Chris Van Cleve has a better look at the numbers for what's typically the busiest time of year for travel.
It is late November, so it's probably too much to hope for that there'll be no winter weather anywhere over Thanksgiving. So the airlines are closely tracking the forecast, especially for that trek home, where we could see some disruptive weather in the east in particular. Now, take a look at this video from the Austin airport. This was the security line around 5:30 yesterday morning. The airport says the line was long, but moving steadily. The rush really started Friday when the TSA says it saw a 25% spike in traffic at checkpoints, screening about 2.7 million people. This was the line at Los Angeles International Airport at 4 a.m. Friday. The FAA says the number of scheduled flights will peak Tuesday with more than 50,000, but the airlines expect Wednesday and Sunday to actually see the most people, with next Sunday potentially setting an all-time record. Over the weekend, cancellations remained extremely low, even though weather delayed thousands of flights. But as we get closer to Thanksgiving, we're watching for the potential of snow in Denver and Salt Lake City. Those are 2 major airline hubs, so that could create some delays. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, New York.
And if you're planning to fly out from Little Rock today or this week, Clinton National Airport says they're about to experience one of the busiest times of the year. Officials there say today specifically sees the most active days of the airport. They're expecting a jump in the amount of departures as well. Nearly 50,000 people are expected to pass security until December 3rd. Now, if you are flying out anytime soon, the airport is encouraging you to get there at least 2 hours early. Now, if you're traveling by car, you'll be saving a few extra bucks when you stop for gas. AAA reporting the average cost for regular fuel here in Arkansas to be about $2.65. That's about 20 cents cheaper than this date last year, and just about 91 cents cheaper than the average national price of $3.05.